everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and today I'm going to be reviewing American Horror Stories, Season 2, Episode 8, Lake. This is actually the season finale. Like, I can't believe that we made it through 8 weeks, y'all. It was some fun 8 weeks, mainly some tough 8 weeks, but we made it through the 8th week. Okay, we made it through 8 weeks of American Horror Stories. I still say that this season is still 10 times better. 100 times better than season 1, okay? But I'm not going to say that all these episodes of this season, I'm not going to say that it actually is stuck the landing. Maybe I'll do another video like ranking all of the episodes from worst to best. But yeah, also too, I know y'all finna say Bloody Mary. I'm going to do it next Thursday. When I come back from Canada, I will be out of town. So please, please don't be in my comment section saying, where's the Bloody Mary episode? Because it ain't going to be here until next Thursday. So, going into this week's episode, which is directed by Tessa Blake, and it is written by Manny Coto. I like the opening when they were like, can you kiss me more? I was like, that used to be my song, knowing I ain't got nobody to kiss me more, but it's okay. So the episode opens up, and everybody is out on the lake, and immediately, since I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, I think Lake Lanier, and then when they start talking about these maps, and talking about that there is, where they're at in the lake is basically a town called Reedsville, which is covered by a man-made dam. And for those of you who don't know, the story about Lake Lanier and the town of Oscarville, which was a black town that was basically covered in water, a man-made dam, all right? So you see a lot of similarities. You probably want to see a lot of people like, yes, this is probably definitely about Lake Lanier. I don't know why people still go there. I go, but I don't get in water. So, yeah. We see that Jake's sister is cock blocking him because Haley was giving him the eyes. Haley was like, oh, what's a topo map? What does that do? Oh, you're such a cute nerd. I was like, Jake, Haley's trying to get, like, Haley's basically trying to bust it open for you. And then when he was like, who wants to go dive with me? And then his sister Finn was like, me. And I was like, sis, you clearly see my man's is trying to get with Haley. Why are you cock blocking him? Like, it's not comprehending for me. And even Jake went to her like, Beesh. He didn't call her a Beesh, but I'm just saying he was probably thinking like, Beesh, why are you cock blocking me right now? Like, you see I'm trying to get with her. And she was like, she a skank. And I was like, okay, but maybe he trying to skank that on up. And what did Jake say? I'm okay if she uses me. Use me and bruise. Okay, I'm sorry. Beyonce got stuck in my head. But, you know, she's cock blocking. So him and his sister, they go diving and they kind of see some of the signs. And so he's getting excited and she's kind of looking like, okay, I really don't know why you're excited about all of this. But what concerned me was, Jake, you've been planning this for how long to go discover this city? And you didn't have no, like, diving equipment. Like, y'all just kept going up, gasping for air every couple seconds. I was just like, how does this make sense? Jake, were you really trying to do this? Because it felt like you had no plan. You just showed up, had no equipment. It didn't make sense. And so while they're ended up diving, they're trying to go back up for air after he finds, like, this sign. Basically, he gets sucked in. And literally, she's trying to grab her brother. She can't grab him. She goes back up for air and asks people for help. She goes back down. She sees him. But then something like basically sucks him in under the water. Like literally under the lake floor. Like it sucked him into the dirt. So we then go 4 months later, where we see that Finn is actually getting out of a mental health facility. She's not taking her brother's death very well. She's there because she told people what she saw of what actually happened to her brother. They weren't able to actually recover a body, which a lot of bodies go missing in Lake Lanier. I think this was called Lake Prescott for this episode. And we see that Finn's mom and dad, Jeffrey and Aaron, and I was like, Haley, she a Silverstone. I don't know who did her makeup though. I felt like they had her looking real disrespectful for no reason. The only reason I'm bringing that up is I've seen her in other things recently, even Babysitter's Club, and my girl was looking good. She be looking good on her Instagram, so I'm just really confused why y'all had her looking like that. I don't know if they were trying to make her look like a teenager's mom, but I was just like, don't do that again. Don't do that to her because she didn't deserve that. But we see that Aaron and Jeffrey, they're having some disagreements, basically on how they both been handling Jake's death. Jeffrey has been more to himself. He's thrown himself into work, really trying to escape from everything that's happening. And so we see them have a disagreement because Jeffrey feels like that Finn came out of, the mental health facility too fast, where Aaron is kind of just like, no, I think she's fine. We can do this together as a family. So we're just going to figure it out. But I need you to be present, okay? I need you to be here. Like, you're here, but you're not here, Jeffrey, all right? So we see that they're having this conversation with her and her mom. And she was like, hey, like, what did you put in the casket? Because his body was never there. And she tells her, like, I put mementos that reminded me of him, kind of like a time capsule. But I was like, dang, like, she was so shook up, she couldn't even go to her brother's funeral. I was just like, that had to have been tough as a parent to, like, have your kid in a mental health facility and your other kid passed away, and then they can't even come to their sibling's funeral. I just felt like that was a lot. That was a bit much. So we see that later in the episode, we see that Erin ends up running some bath water. She's trying to get a bath. She looked at Jeffrey like, Beach, didn't we just have a conversation earlier today talking about how you were going to be more present, and you sitting up here bobbing to whatever music you listening to, still throwing yourself into work? So clearly what I was saying, it didn't get through to you at all. So she goes to the bathroom to take a bath. Okay, then she started looking in the tub. I said, sis, why you getting so close to that water? And then a hand grabbed her. I was like, huh. And then she was like, ah. And I'm like, of course, Jeffrey Raggedy behind doesn't hear her scream because he has these headphones in. But then I was kind of like, why didn't Finn hear her scream like that? But that's besides the point. She like backs up, she freaks out, then she looks back into the water. She didn't see anything. Now this is the part where Erin just didn't make any sense. So a hand just grabs you out of the bathtub, and then after you check again and there's nothing there, you put your back towards the bathtub? Hell no! I would have ran the hell up out of there first and foremost. I would have got Jeff's Raggedy behind off that bed like, Beast, you sitting up here with these damn headphones on and I done almost lost my life and you didn't even hear me screaming, okay? Because I would have had to fight Jeffrey because he wouldn't have even heard anything happening because he didn't do what I asked him to do earlier that day. But when she put her back to the tub, I was just like, sis, like, you just, like, why are we not thinking? There was a lot of not thinking happening in this episode, but we see that later in the episode, she goes to sleep, and then she hears water running. She goes to check in the bathroom, there's nothing there, and then she goes downstairs, and then she sees the sink is running. So she turns it off, and then she walks away, and then the sink comes back on. And then you hear, Mom, help me. First of all, I would have ran out the house. No, I would have went upstairs and woke Jeffrey Raggedy behind up, and then I would have woke Finn up and said, we all got to get out of the house. We got to get in our car. We got to go. Because I'm hearing my son, the sink turning on. I turned it off and turned back on. It's just a lot happening. Now, I thought Finn was going to, like, just pop up in, like, a water body, but then we saw a zombie body, because then we saw that the pool was, like, spouting up water, and then we hear again, like, Mom, help me. Find me, and then we see like his dead zombie looking body, and then he disappears. Okay, so Erin has this conversation with Jeffrey like, hey, Beach, we need to go find our son in this lake. Jeffrey's like, girl, what is you talking about? I thought we just said that we was moving forward. I'm not going back, I'm moving ahead. I'm sorry, that's a whole nother song. But Jeffrey's like, girl, I don't know what you got going on with you, but I just said that I was gonna be here, present, in the moment. We need to move forward. So, like, what is all this stuff that you're talking about right now? Also, too, when she screamed when Jeffrey had touched her, I was like, girl, you did not have to scream like that. It is broad daylight. I really doubt that any ghosts or zombies will be bothering you in the broad daylight. But the scream that she let out, I was like, girl, get a grip. Because even Jeffrey looked at her like, what is wrong with you? But back to that argument, when she tells him that she wants to go and find... Jake's body in the lake. So Jeffrey was like, hell to the no. Like, we're not doing this. And, like, why would you want to re-traumatize Finn in the first place? Like, we need to be focused on the family that we do have here. So Finn was listening in on a conversation after Jeffrey Raggedy behind walked out. And then she was like, hey, Mom, like, I want to go too. And, yeah, they started doing, like, little flashbacks. That doesn't really matter to the episode. This is the part where I was confused again, okay? So I was really confused because when you went back to the lake for the second time, you still didn't have no diving gear. Like no oxygen tank, no nothing. And I know what y'all thinking, Sharonda, you gotta get certified for that stuff. They're rich. Did you see that house? They had a pool. Like they got money, okay? They got money. I'm just like, after everything that's happened, Finn, you wasn't like, hey, let's get some like breathing equipment, because the last time I had to go up for air and come back down, my brother died. So maybe we should have an oxygen tank in order to make sure that we can just stay down there. So in case someone tries to suck us in, I got breathing equipment. But no. All logic went out the door. The only thing that the mom thought of was to get a 9-foot cord or rope so she could tie it around her in case the zombies tried to suck her in. So she going back and forth, going up and down. She ends up finding the spot, and then she sees these 3 bodies, these 3 skeletons kind of connected to some stone. She pulls the necklace off, she goes up, and then when she's trying to go up, something grabs her leg. So I was like, oh snap, they finna kill Alicia Silverstone. Y'all brought her back just to kill her? What are we doing here? So that happens, but she ends up finding her son's body. Like, so Jake's body pops up, so they end up calling the paramedics. They're able to find it. This is what made me mad though, okay? This is what made me mad. So she called Jeffrey Raggedy behind. No, Jeffrey called her, cursing her out. Like, bitch, I know you didn't just go to this damn lake when I told you don't go to this lake, and then you gonna take my daughter on top of it? I'm coming to get my daughter. I'm ready to go. He talking all this smack, and then she was like, Jeffrey, we found Jake's body. And then he all like, I should have been there with you. You shouldn't be by yourself. Like, I'm coming right now. I was like, nah, I need you to keep that energy that you just had 30 seconds ago before I told you I found our son's body, that Joe Raggedy behind didn't want to get in the car and going fine. Like, there were so many signs that I was just like, Aaron, you have to divorce Jeffrey. Like, he's trash. I'm really trying to figure out how y'all fell in love in the first place, because this man is just giving me trash vibes, all right? So after they end up finding the body, she talks to like the sheriff, and he basically tells her, she shows him the necklace, and he was like, this can only belong to one person, the Boone family, which was here in this town, a farming family before the dam was created. So there's only one living descendant, Millie, I almost said Millie Bobby Brown, Millie Boone. And so they go to the retirement home to visit Millie. So when they kind of tell her everything that happened, she was like, oh, yeah, this can only belong to like whatever he was, but it was Maynard Nathaniel Boone, and he was killed by Raggedy Reed Prescott, okay? So Prescott wanted to make a man-made dam, because you heard them talk about how they was making man-made dams in Georgia, Oscarville, look it up, stay woke. So they were trying to get in on the money in North Carolina, so he could get money on the back end for getting the dams, he could be a rich man. So the Boones, these 3 men, they were like basically like, Beach, you think you finna come up here and do a dam? Absolutely not. That's not what they said, but I'm just saying that's like what they should have said. But they tell him that, and then he was like, oh, you feeling froggy leap. Like, you think I'm scared of you? And he was like, you need to get the practice in. And he was like, practice what? Breathe that hoe. He didn't call him a hoe, but I'm just saying. He basically ended up burying them in like where the water was coming for the dam, and they drowned to death. So that's where we got the 3 skeletons from, okay? So Millie says, girl, I've been sitting up here trying to fight these people for years. And they were like, but why now? It's been like 90 plus years since this dam was built. And she was like, no, because Raggedy Reed Prescott made sure with all the money that he had, he left an endowment to keep the Raggedy Lake going. And that endowment is being held up by a law firm called Spengler and Weber. So then when that happened, they did a look. And I was like, Aaron, what you looking like that for? And then I was like, I bet this raggedy ass husband of hers works for this dang on law firm, okay? And before I could even get the thought finished, then we cut to her having a conversation, and basically Jeffrey ends up showing up, and then she starts talking to him about, your raggedy company is sitting up here protecting these people. Do you work on this case? And he was like, I'm the head person leading the case. I said, of course this trash human being is the lead person on this case. So then we find out that that wasn't enough. We find out that Raggedy Jeffrey is actually a Raggedy Prescott. He from the damn Raggedy family that got rich from killing other people, okay? And so the whole purpose of them keeping this endowment going is because Raggedy Reed Prescott, he didn't want the dam, because the dam, you know, if you know, even with Lake Lanier, as the drought happens, the water gets lower, you can start to see remnants of the city, which will mean you will see the 3 people that he killed. So he never wanted his crimes to come out into light. So after that, that's why they've been trying to protect all of this from happening. So Aaron's sitting up here trying to be like, sir, I don't think you're listening to me. Like, this whole place is cursed. Like, that's the reason our son died, because your raggedy ass family, your raggedy ass job is the reason why my son died in the first place. So Finn is over there crying somewhere. I don't know what's happened. Jeffrey was just like, girl, how did you think that you was able to afford this lifestyle? And I was like, I don't want to agree with him, but I said, Aaron, baby, you had a point. Like, come on now. So then he started talking how he proud to be a part of the Prescott family and how the good that they've done. And so in the middle of him, I guess the zombie said, you know what, we've had enough of you talking out the side of your neck. So the lights go off, and then Aaron's like, sir, you're not listening to me. Like, something bad is happening. Finn's like, hey guys, we need to go. And I was like, y'all should have left a long time ago. The zombies came, the lights didn't turn off, the phone wasn't working, the zombies start popping up, so they looking shook, I'm looking shook, Jeffrey looking like, is this really real? And I'm like, Lord, please let the zombies take Jeffrey first, okay? So basically, the water started bubbling, we see the zombies, and then they trying to run outside. Now, what I will give Jeffrey Raggedy behind credit for it, he was fighting for his life, trying to protect his family from the zombies. Now, the part that sent me is after the zombies grab Jeffrey's Raggedy behind, you hear Finn like, Dad, Dad, no, Dad, no, Dad. Aaron just sitting there like, go ahead and take him, because I was tired of him anyway. Like, she was consoling her daughter, but Aaron had like, no, she wasn't sad, like nothing. She was over that man. I said, Aaron, thank you. But I said, you're not going to shed no thug tear for your husband? Because up until all of this, you did love him. So I was just like, she was just sitting there like her daughter is literally having a whole breakdown, and Aaron's just like, it's gonna be okay, baby. I was like, girl, you could at least act like you're affected like a smidge, just a little bit. She did not care whatsoever, and I was just like, okay, girl, like, that's fine. Well, Raggedy Jeffrey got what he deserved, and that was pretty much the end of the episode. Now, what I will say is, like, the episode is fine. It's not a terrible episode. The acting did get bad in that whole little family drama thing at the end of the episode. The actor was like, y'all are better than the delivery of this dialogue right now. But it felt like if you was watching, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, on Nick at Night, on Teen Nick. Like, it felt more like that. It's cool. I guess it was in the horror element, the zombies, and I like the whole story of the family and how they had to pay the consequences of their ancestors. But I just felt like there needs to be more for a finale episode. Like, I felt like there should have been more. And so the episode's okay. I'll never watch it again. It was nice to see Alicia Silverstone and hear my song Kiss Me More. But it just wasn't given. It just wasn't given. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just like, it's an episode. Like, this felt like a filler episode. It definitely shouldn't have been the season finale of season 2. But for season 3, if it's renewed for a season 3, I just really need everybody to get it together. Like, maybe get some fresh new writers. Maybe even do, like, a competition for, like, new pitch ideas. I don't know, but I feel like we need to shake things up a little bit. I feel like it's kind of been the same writers, because even Tessa and Manny, you know, they've all produced and written stuff and directed stuff on the previous American Horror Stories. I think that it's time to get some fresh new talent to do these anthology series, to do different episodes. I just think that we kind of got to mix it up. I feel like we're getting complacent, and it's just like, I'm glad that you're getting a check, but I also want to be entertained, because you really have long, like, loyal fans that, like, appreciate American Horror Story and American Horror Stories. And so I just really want more for season 3. I'm sure it's probably going to get renewed for season 3, but I just need more, because I was just unimpressed. This is definitely light years better than the first season, But given how long you guys have been working on American Horror Story, the franchise, it's just unacceptable at this point. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on American Horror Story Season 2, Episode 8, Lake. Mid-episode, horrible finale episode because it just felt like a filler episode. But let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on the season as a whole? What would you want to see in a Season 3? What do you feel needs to happen to kind of shake things up in this American Horror Story franchise? I would love to know in the comment section below. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends. I feel like I said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again,